Good evening, everyone. I'm Adrian A. Medrano, your reporter for today. In Introduction to Contemporary Literature, my report is all about poem analysis and interpretation. So, before that, I would like to introduce to all of you, the person behind my chosen poetry. So, let's proceed. So, about the author. So, the author of my chosen poetry is Richard Saikian. He was born February 15, 1967. He is an American poet, a painter, and a filmmaker. He is the author of the collection Crush. This is the book where I picked my chosen poetry, and also this Crush book entitled Crush won the Yale series of younger poets competition in 2014. Also, his second book of poems entitled War of the Foxes was published by Cooper Canyon Press in 2015. So, Richard Saiken lives in Tucson, Arizona. He is a co-founder and editor of the literary magazine Sport. Now, let's proceed to my chosen poem, which is entitled Boot Theory. So, Saiken's poem Boot Theory, which can also be found in the book Crush, as I have said earlier, while abstract, conveys the struggle of this is all about a struggle of raging rejection. This is this is one of the stanza in the poem. You fall in love with a woman and she leaves you. You fall in love with a man and he kicks you in the face. So, Saiken utilizing the audience, directly placing them as the person who is being rejected. Saiken is pertaining to the person on that poem, is the one who is reading the poem. Perhaps what the author of the poem wants to convey to the reader is the equal rights of every person, the right to love and be loved. It may also be about people like in the, for example, LGBT community, who are also have the right to be respected and loved as a people. You see, from the time they don't recognizing the people who are in the third sex, but now we are acknowledging them as a part of our community. So I'm just giving credits to them from this poem that I chosen. They are also who are having the right to be respect for what I have said earlier, because they are just human being, just like the ordinary people who experience grief in life. So for my analysis and opinion, in this poem, maybe a person referring in the poem is a person who is with a good heart, whose only desire is to love, but in exchange for that love is emotional grief and pain. This poem also wants to convey the reader that in every trial there is a destined success. Let us just not give up, or never give up, and just move on with our life. Another is people have different problems in life. We know that. You, me, we have different problem situations in life. For example, in family, money matters, loved ones, and many others. We are created we are created by God to sacrifice, but of this because of this, we learn to be strong in life because of the trials in life that we are imposed on us. We are not given a problem, and I know, for me, God will never give us a trial or a problem or a situation that we cannot overcome. We need the only thing we need is to trust and faith. Now, let's move on to some questions. How did the author describe the time and place? So, the author have described the time and place and the location of the poem at the time where people still lack of knowledge about human rights. That is, for my opinion, the time where people are being abused by other people because they don't have the courage to fight for their rights. That even when it hurts, they just let it go because they are afraid of what might happen to them. Even if sometimes you have good intention for others, the pain is still in return. How sad, how tragic. Next, how would you feel if that happened to you? Well, for me, maybe it is maybe for me, if this situation happens, maybe I will analyze first the situation or the problem, and I will make way for the situation or the problem to know how to solve it. Analyze first, then think of something to solve this problem. Also, we must remember that we are not alone. That is most especially. We need to think that we are not alone in any problems. Because there are always someone around us who cares for us, that we can talk or ask for an advice to avoid hurting ourselves or hurting other people. We can also analyze the problem to understand the things that are happening in our lives. Why this problem, why God give us this problem, or what is the motivation, of God, why He gave us this problem. I know God won't give us any trials in life that we cannot surpass. So, next. What did the character the author says to cause you to believe them? Perhaps what the character and the author convince me here in the poem, or to my chosen poem, which is the boot theory, is that life is reality. Which is where we might get hurt in our lives. We can experience to be hurt and can hurt other people. Respect, the word respect is the key for everyone to avoid trouble and grief in life. This poem of Richard Saiken is very deep. Many people might have other interpretation or opinion on this poem, but for me it is enough to say that the only thing we need is respect to avoid sadness, grief in life of every people. So that's it for my report, and I hope you learned something about my analysis regarding to my topic report. And also, after this report of mine, I prepare another video next to this video about my version of my chosen poem, which is the boot theory. I hope you will like it and try to analyze the poem, and you will feel the pain and the message of the poem. I hope you will enjoy this video, and thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. Goodbye and God bless. Thank you. Boots Theory by Richard Saiken, performed by Adrian A. Medrano. A man walks into a bar and says, "Take my wife, please." So you do. You take her out into the rain, and you fall in love with her, and she leaves you, and you're desolate. You're on your back, in your own undershirt, a broken man, on an ugly bedspread, staring at the water stain on the ceiling, and you can hear the man in the apartment above you taking off his shoes. You hear the first boot hit the floor, and you're looking, you're waiting, because you thought it would follow. You thought there would some logic, perhaps something to pull it together. But here we are. in the weeds again. Here we are in the bowels, your world of the things doesn't make sense. And then a second boot falls, and then a third, a fourth, a fifth. A man walked into a bar and says, "Take my wife, please." But you take him instead. You take him home and you make him a cheese sandwich, and you try to get his shoes off, but he kicks you, and he keeps kicking you. You swallow a bottle of sleeping pills, but they don't work. Boots continue to fall to the floor in the apartment above you. You go to work the next day pretending nothing happens. Your coworker asks, "Is everything okay?" And you tell them you're just tired. And you're trying to smile, and they are trying to smile. A man walks into a bar, you this time, and says, "Make it a double." A man walks into a bar, you this time, and says, "Walk a mile in my shoes." A man walked into a convenience store, still you, saying, "I only wanted something simple, something generic." But the clerk tells you to buy something or get out. A man takes his sadness down to the river and throw it in the river, but then he's still left with the river. A man takes his sadness and throw it away, but he's still left with his hand.